Director of Theological Society, UT Nursing Student Association, undergraduate studies council. All right, we're going to move on to organizational announcements with Michael Morton, support for the student endowment for the election.
Hi everyone, just another announcement. If you did not get a chance to pick up your tickets to Mark Kelly, they began going on sale for your passes. So they began being given away today. You can always pick them up until the event, which is on April 2nd. So it's not next week, it's not the week after, at the LHA Auditorium at 7 p.m. You can always pick them up at the SAC ticket office on the first floor. Please come, it's going to be a great event. It's the first time we'll be speaking to a university in Texas, so we're the first. We beat UT Arlington today. But come out, it's going to be a great event. Get your tickets as soon as you can.
I'll just do it from back here. So Kate couldn't be here tonight, but I'm going to speak on her behalf. Leadership is one of the premier leadership opportunities for college students across the nation. There's a Leadership Institute here at the University of Texas, one in McCombs, and then also one in the Cockrell School of Engineering that's open to all undergraduates. I totally encourage you guys to apply. The application and the link to it will be sent out over the Senate listserv. I'm sorry I didn't have flyers with me tonight. But if anyone's interested, please feel free to contact me. I know Michael Morton is also a past participant, as is Roberto Valle. I did it last summer, and it was absolutely a transformative experience. So, and if any of you are looking to grow as leaders and kind of discover your leadership potential and really learn a lot about yourselves as a person and as a leader, definitely check it out. And the application is due April 1st. It's pretty easy. It's like 3 questions. So, thanks.
We'll have 3 special reports this evening. We're beginning with Mr. Matt Hart, the Director of Communication for Services. He's going to be giving a brief report on Access UT and the upcoming career and internship here.
All right, can I stay here since we're not using a microphone and I can see the slide?
Go for it.
Outstanding. Thank you for having me here today. Judy Hong asked me to come and share a little bit of information on Access UT because she felt there was not enough awareness on campus of this tool, which I think is fabulous and all students across all colleges should be aware of. Who is familiar with Access UT? Very good. Well, you are not alone. Access UT is an online job and internship board that is accessible to all students and all alumni of UT Austin. And it has lots and lots to offer. Next slide, please. If you see here, there is the URL. If you click on the orange button that says Students and Alumni Log In, you will be taken to, next slide, please, a UT EID screen. See, I've got this whole thing planned, so I didn't have to go on. You will log in using your UT EID, and this will continue for you long after you have graduated, because they know when you're a student, they know when you're alumni, and they know if you're not a student, and non-students and non-alumni cannot get in. You'll log in, and it'll take you to a page that looks like this. Our timing's pretty good, isn't it? It's a very simple search page. Important things for you to know. Along this left side over here are links to all of your college-based career service offices. Every college here has one, offering a variety of different levels of services to the students in their college specifically, and you should be connected with your college career service office. You can also set up searches and search agents so that you can use this thing more efficiently and find the kind of stuff that you're using for, or just use it generally to use the search criteria. Can we back up one more, please? And you can do keyword searches. You can search by the type of position, by the school targeted, by whether it's entry level, pre-entry level, when you've long since graduated, executive level type positions, and do all of these different searches and save them. And what you will get is, next slide please, a quick summary of jobs that met the criteria, jobs and internships that met the criteria. Now the only thing you are going to find in Access UT are career-related, professionally oriented jobs that are relevant for individuals pursuing or already possessing a college degree. You want a nanny to make some money? You want to deliver pizzas or tent bar? Don't look here. Maybe you go to Hire Longhorn, but those kinds of jobs will be rejected because everything that gets submitted to Access UT goes into a pending hopper and is reviewed by one of the career services professionals here on staff at the university, and there's a bunch of us. We review them by the colleges that are targeted to make sure that it passes that general criteria and it meets our standards for job and internship postings on the university. And when you find one that you like, a little screen will pop up where it'll give you a description of the job It'll give you the job description and the qualifications that are taught and means for applying for that job. It does not have a resume database or resume submission component. You'll get that at your college level. But it gives you a way of connecting directly with the employers. And of course, you can save jobs to find them later, and you can set up search agents on jobs also. Next slide, please. You may not all use it right now, but this gets quite a bit of traffic. In fact, last year, over 14,000 positions, jobs and internships were posted to Access UT, which was up from 2010, and we're already at a 14% increased run rate this year on jobs and internships. In fact, right now, there's what, about 1,400, almost 1,500 active postings in the system right now. As of noon today, what was it? 106. Well, as of about 5 o'clock, it was about 156. I checked just before. And people do use this because there have been nearly 100,000 postings since we started this thing in 2004. There have been over 3.5 million searches, resulting in over 11 million viewings by your peers, and maybe you as well. We wanted to share this, and Judy's intent was for me to come here and make sure that you are aware of it so that you can tell your friends, and they'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends, and it'll be a great shampoo commercial that'll get people using Access UT. Next slide, please. Takeaways. This is available to everybody at this university, okay? Whether you're a student or you're alumni, from the day you're in until the day you die, you can search for positions on Access UT, and this is getting more and more used by alumni as every year goes by. You will log in very simply at accessut.utexas.edu. You should, if you're not, I'm not quite sure why, you should take advantage of the career services in your home college. Why? Because jobs are not going to pursue you in most instances. The reality of things is not everyone finds jobs in the same way. Not all industries hire in the exact same way. And your job as a job seeker is to understand the hiring dynamics of the industries that you want to get into and alter your search strategies to match the hiring dynamics of those industries. Not everybody in every industry will recruit on campus. Some will. Not everyone in every industry will become a job and internship fairs. Some will. Some folks will just post to Access UT or to other sites. So it behooves you to know as much as you can about all the different sites. I have one last slide to share with you, and that was at Judy's request as well, because there are a lot of career fairs that take place on this campus, most of which are open and accessible to all students here at UT. And you can find them all clicking on that link. Can you click on that link real quick just to show you? It will take you to, and if you will scroll down, you will see there are a lot of job and internship fairs, when they're happening, where they're happening, and locations on this campus. And again, most of these are open. We can jump back to that last slide for a bit of shameless self-promotion. Hours in communication is coming up. And yes, it is open to all students. All you have to do is have an interest in the communication aspects of the many different businesses that will be there. We will be in the north end zone up on the 5th floor, 8th floor area up by the luxury boxes, where we can fit up to 99 employers, and we already have 80 scheduled to show up. The dates and the information is right there. We do encourage all students from the university to come and come prepared. Make that good first impression so that you can take steps towards that next job or that next internship, whether it's for our career fair, whether it's through one of the other career fairs offered through one of the other offices here on campus, whether it's through any other resource, including Access UT. That's all I have for you, unless you have specific questions. Otherwise, thank you for indulging me. Yes, sir.
Can you filter the job searches by regions, like cities?
You can. You can see. You can select cities. You can select states. You can see keyword searches. It does not have a search capability to search by a zip code, or like LinkedIn, where you can search within X number of miles of some zip code. It doesn't have that functionality, but you can search by geography.
How acquainted are you with international job postings? Is that
I am acquainted with them. You are not going to find that many of them. You will find some, but you will not find a lot of them in Access UT. What I can tell you is that through our office, particularly through Liberal Arts Career Services, they have a very robust collection of international job search resources that are available off of their website. They're not all UT resources, but they're resources that they have vetted that can really help you sort of get the understanding of that terrain without having to just go to Google and do it all yourself. And ask those career advisors in your college, that's kind of what we're here for. Yes, sir.
How does this advertise to employers? Employees find out about it?
Yeah, it's almost like I plugged that question in here. This is marketed out to employers through all of the different career service offices. We do specifically through College of Communication. This is featured on our website. In some way, shape, or form, it's featured on the website and is a part of the marketing and outreach of all of our different career service offices here on campus. And to give a little bit of a shout out to the PRSSA student organization and its pro bono student public relations agency, Power PR. We are working with them this semester to do a awareness building and branding outreach campaign to employers throughout the state of Texas, major metropolitan areas, to build greater awareness of Access UT amongst employers.
Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
So when you aspire to be like posting with something, is there like an earmark that goes to the employer that this person came from Access?
No. No, this is, I sort of think, this is a Volvo. It runs really well, it's not complicated, it doesn't have a lot of extra features to it. It makes it very easy for employers and students to use, but it will last forever. It is simply a means to get the information in front of you so that you can then connect directly with that employer. There's no additional tracking mechanisms. A lot of those higher level services where we can track all kinds of different things and attach resumes are available at the college level.
Any more questions?
Thank you all very much.
Protocol, I know Natalie Butler has another meeting to get to, so she's going to give a brief update from student government. So Natalie.
Hey y'all, sorry. I have another event to get to, so I want to get my report before I peace out. First of all, just a few updates on legislation that SG is working on. We passed legislation on Tuesday in support of online advising, scheduling, and homes, so hopefully y'all will have figured out. We also passed our last round of appropriations. For the year. And we have a few pieces of legislation that are pending in committee. The first one, which we had a lot of debate about, was whether or not we should include fluoride-free water fountains on campus. That was an interesting conversation. Some people think fluoride in the water is bad for you, some think it's good for you. It was a very interesting discussion. We'll see it play out more come next Tuesday. There's also a piece of legislation pending that the Modern Warriors movement wants to include memorial plaques for people who have fallen in more recent wars, like sort of Iraq, Afghanistan, whatever, all those around sort of where the memorial plaques are for World War I and II around the stadium. So that's something that's being looked at. It was sort of fast-tracked and put into committee. It hadn't been on the agenda before, so there's still some work to be done on it, but it's a really interesting idea. The Modern Warriors has been working really hard to try to get people to sign a petition and whatnot. So they're coming to SG. It's a really interesting movement. They have a lot of really great ideas. If you want to check that out, our Student Affairs Committee chair is working on that. And then also, the Invest in Texas Constitution is in committee right now. We have some student government is likely going to amend the Invest in Texas Constitution. I'll throw that out for y'all now. So if y'all end up passing it, we're probably going to pass a different one, just so you know. There are some concerns just because our organization is very geared towards civic engagement. And so we sort of have some branches that are specifically for civic engagement. So we're still trying to figure out how best to make Invest in Texas fit within the structures of student government, because we have an entire civic engagement policy portfolio, and that hasn't quite been worked out yet. There are also some concerns about the autonomy of the Invest in Texas director. What I kind of brought up is that the buck ultimately stops with the president of the organization, regardless of who the Invest in Texas directors are, and so autonomy for Invest in Texas is a good thing, but only to a certain extent, because it's still all the organizations are still accountable. So that's something that we're working on, so it's kind of a warning, like good luck passing it, but we're probably going to pass it one, so it might protect you. Because all the organizations are working on passing constitution, so sorry I didn't warn you beforehand. But so I just want to share our concerns with y'all. I don't know if anyone shares similar ones, but it's something that we're working on. A few other quick things. Hook the Vote is having sort of today we're going to kick off a voter registration across campus. There's a rally with free pizza, get more t-shirts out there tonight, and we'll be registering voters, different organizations are registering voters for the rest of the school year. So excited about that. Thank you to the presidents that have been helping me find representatives for the unrun for seats within student government. If I reached out to you, thanks for getting back to me. If you have names, I would really appreciate the help. If you don't have names, I'll help find people. I just need the council presidents to appoint unfilled seats in the next student government assembly. Quick updates. You saw the Texas Day. Chris, I can update you more. We have 4 final candidates for the BPSA search. They'll be coming to campus over the course of the next month. holiday time for the fall. But I think that feels really refreshed. It would have been nice to have it in October or November. I hope you all had a chance to check out the Find a Space, the database that student government launched that has all kinds of spaces all over campus. Basically, every space that you can possibly reserve or have reserved. So I hope you check that out. If you have, if you have any comments, let us know. Let's see. Oh, one more run. Has anyone else signed up? Chris signed up. Awesome. Anyone else? Taylor signed up? Okay. Next time I come, I hope a lot of people have signed up for one more run. It's going to be awesome. I'm super pumped. It's really fun. All the money goes for student organizations. Why would you not want to do it? It's going to be awesome. And there's going to be lots of free swag. Lots of free swag. It's pretty good. The last thing, student government, we've put out the applications for next year's appointments already. They're all online on btsu.org. If you're interested in any of the internal or external appointments student government makes, we make about 40 internal position appointments, 40 or 50, and about 100 to 150 external appointments to take things forward. So lots of opportunities for involvement in things across campus. So check that out. The executive board applications are due, I believe, April 30th, and everything else is due a week later. And then taking off SG Cap for a moment. The Friar Society applications are due this Friday at 5 for the student organizations and everything else. That was long-winded. I apologize. Do you have any questions? Nothing? Okay, sign up for one more.
Special report. I know it's technically just ask promotions for all these things. Sorry, guys. We're going to have our representatives from the undergraduate research committee come forward to talk about their undergraduate researcher in the month for February. So, Ryan.
Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Hirsch. I'm one of the co-chairs of the undergraduate research committee. This year, the Senate of College Council has partnered with University Communications to publish a spotlight on the undergraduate researcher of the month. So February's winner was dedicated to in the College of Communication, and his profile will be published at the beginning of this month to showcase the winner's research experience. March will be dedicated to the Coppell School of Engineering, and call for submissions will go out tomorrow. So if you are an engineering student who's conducting research, please feel free to email me with any questions, and I encourage you to check out the call for submissions. Tonight we are going to honor February's winner, Alejandro Diaz-Wall. He is a fourth-year communication studies major from Palo Alto, California. He has shown a steadfast commitment to research and a clear demonstration of the positive impact that research has had on his undergraduate experience. So I'd like to welcome Alejandro to the floor to share his undergraduate research experience. Please give him a round of applause.
Hi, as I said, I'm Alejandro Diaz-Wall. I'm a fourth-year student. I'm majoring in global communication here. The title of my research is Does the Ideological Homogeneity of the Website's User Community Affect the Civility of Online Discussions? So I started this research about a year ago for a class project in the Senior Fellows Program because there's an impression in the media and among the American public that political discourse is becoming more polarized and more uncivil, especially in the media, especially online. So my research is focusing on online communication, which is a really growing field right now. Prior researchers have found that in face-to-face communication, when people discuss politics in homogeneous groups, so if you're a Democrat and you discuss politics with other Democrats, people tend to become more extreme in their views. Whereas if you were to discuss politics with someone who did not agree with you, for instance, you're a Democrat and you talk to a Republican, people tend to come to a consensus and tend to moderate their views. So my question was, does this also happen online where people tend to be more anonymous? And my hypothesis was that no, that online communication is fundamentally different from face-to-face communication. And so for my method in this research, I relied on previous research that surveyed thousands of prominent news websites on the internet and surveyed their users to find out their self-reported partisanship. And then I took several of the largest websites. A few were almost homogeneously conservative, a few were almost homogeneously liberal, and a few were heterogeneous, so about 50-50. And I compared civility based on a 4 criteria scale, which is not what we're going into at this point. But the results were basically that my hypothesis was correct, that there was no collections need to be more civil. So in my conclusion, I wrote that I think this is because of the anonymity that we find on the internet, that people don't tend that people can be more uncivil because they don't have to worry about the effects of being rude to someone and then hearing their response. You don't have to hear the response online. You don't have to give your identity to anyone. And so this is the research that I'm actually focusing on right now, because I'm comparing comments on news websites as opposed to the news websites' Facebook pages, where everyone is using their real name to comment, trying to see whether there are differences in their civility. I really want to thank the Undergraduate Research Council for inviting me here. This has been a work of several months, so it's really nice to be recognized for that. And research, this project began in one of my classes. It's really helped me focus on a subject that I'm really interested in and that I'm really excited about. And so I'm really glad that UT offers these courses that allow independent research, and I really encourage our students to go about this.
And to add one more thing to the agenda under special report, the Professor of the Month, Dr. Douglas Floyd, will be presented to all of you by the Faculty Affairs Committee.
So our Professor of the Month is Dr. Douglas Floyd. He's a February Professor of the Month, but he has been out of the country doing research, not research, but helping a community have self-sustaining water habits. And I don't know if you guys know about that. I wanted to brag about him, and that's really awesome. So.
Lisa, thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. I was actually surprised to get the invitation because you mentioned something about teaching. I actually do not consider myself to be a teacher. Certainly not a good teacher. I consider myself to be an educator. Is there a difference? Who knows the difference? Okay. The teacher can train you or teach you how to do specific things, specific tasks. The educator teaches you how to do that for yourself. So, how many are in engineering? The professor teaches you by reading the textbook for you, right? Digesting the textbook, teaching you how to do a specific task. Correct. An educator gives you the textbook and helps you learn. In that way, when you graduate, you don't need a professor. When I do PhD research or PhD advising, it's the first thing I tell my graduate students is when you come to me and tell me I don't need you anymore, so I suggest to all of you, think of the difference between a good teacher. How many of you have a favorite teacher? How many have a favorite educator? Are they the same people? Not necessarily the same people. So I want you to all think that there's teaching and education. Thank you.
Yeah, we actually did stuff this week. Yes. It's true. So the one thing that we have been working on, for those who don't know, I was actually elected president for next year. I was unopposed. So we've been working on our transition. Our officer application, for those of y'all, they graduate programs or no graduate students, our officer application is actually due tomorrow at 5 p.m. It's online on our website, utgraduatestudentsembly.org. Send it to any grad students, because right now we have 2 applicants for 7 positions, which that's not good math, because it's tomorrow. And our campus-wide committee application line should come out next week. Like SG, like I said, we do have appointments to various campus-wide committees. And so again, if you know graduate students, if you are a graduate student, if you want to get involved, that'll come out next week. We also have worked on a couple pieces of legislation. One that we fast-tracked was our platform for the stage trip, which is where Manny and Daniel Spike, the legislative relations director, is right now. They're in DC on behalf of graduate education. I honestly cannot remember what our platform is. But it's good. I did read it. I remember thinking it was good at the time, but I can't remember what it was. I know there was something about visas in there and immigration, so that was good. We did introduce a piece of legislation this week in support of all 3, kind of like SG, but unlike SG, we didn't do any research, so we're working on that. What can I say? We're a special organization. And our last thing, we also will be introducing our EMS attendance constitution in our assembly whenever SG kind of decides what to work out the kinks, because we're easy, we'll do whatever you guys do. We know SG will be SG, and so we'll just kind of wait until they finish that. And so there's no point in us spending our time on it until they get their stuff. The one big thing that is affecting us right now, for those of y'all that have a favorite TA, they probably should know this. They probably already do know this. Does everybody here kind of know what the tuition and assistance benefit is? Okay. So there's 2 parts of being a TA. The first part is the tuition benefit, the tuition assistance benefit, the tab. And basically what that is there's a specific amount of your tuition that is paid for just by virtue of you being a TA. And then on the other side, there's the actual wages for the hours you put in. For the first time ever, there's not a single college on campus where that has the tuition paid for in full. And so it actually opens up some interesting issues. The first of which is it can finally no longer be taxed, because right now a big chunk of it is actually taxed on the tuition benefit. So now that can go away. The graduate school is still deciding if that's actually a good thing or not, because taxes are fun and everybody should be doing their taxes. You probably know that they're real works, and so they're still evaluating that. So that's something we're working on. You'll probably hear more about it because it does affect graduate students and that kind of stuff. And our big thing coming up is Graduate and Professional Student Appreciation Week, which is in 2 weeks. There's a whole lot of fun events going on that week. The first is the GSA 5K, which is April 1st. It's a Sunday. It's 2 weeks before the Longhorn Run. So if you're like, I can't run a 10K, you should run a 5K. It's only half of a 10K. And so to sign up for that, you can go to our website, utgraduatestudentsembly.org. We're excited for that. There's a whole bunch of other cool events. There's some family-friendly ones. There's some actual policy ones. The full flyer is also available on our website. There's some really cool stuff. Undergrads are welcome. There's a lot of really interesting ones about mental health, that kind of stuff. And there's a research showcase. So if you're interested in becoming a grad student, you might want to check that out. All the details can be found online. And that's basically it. Are there any questions? Sweet.
So I took this spot in the IDE Education Committee meeting on Monday, and the CEO of IDU came and presented to the committee about the different tools that caveman and on top of his limestone. You can make your judgment about that. And you would literally move this meter towards whatever side you felt was coming. Ideally, faculty would also do a best fit system for each one of their courses so that the system would map you the course which is the best fit. This is the system that they are moving towards instead of the rating system of the stars. The other aspect of the faculty review are the written comments. Faculty, if right now the plan is that faculty will have the ability to either accept all of your comments sight unseen if they so choose, or they will have the ability to review each and every comment and approve it or disapprove it, and it will not be published. They also have the ability to, if one time they decide to publish a comment, they can go back to the system and then delete it. So they will have full control over those written comments. That's where it is right now. We didn't get into a lot of the other tools because myself and the incoming chair of faculty council kind of had a spirited debate with the CEO about the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to address each individual tool in an individual meeting. So as we progress with this committee, I'll let you guys know what the updates are because there were a lot of concerns that got brought up at Monday's meeting. Does anybody have any questions?
Just to clarify, also, it seems that a lot of this is very tentative right now, so if you have very strong thoughts about it, send them my way, Michael's way, and we'll continue to make sure that your concerns are represented. I know I personally have some concerns about the leeway faculty will have to alter names and get rid of names and sort of how that hinders speech and a lot of other things that we can bring up about that. So we'll have a pretty great conversation about that in the president, hopefully, and Michael will have some stuff to take back to the implementation committee as those recommendations shake out. Very quickly on career services, the 7 different subcommittees that started meeting. I saw a student outreach committee that met yesterday. We had a really great conversation about what this will look like and how it will be implemented. There's still lots of question marks, but the one thing that we did discuss is how can we continue to get more student feedback on this aside from just through the Senate College Councils. So I know a survey was tossed out for potentially next fall, potentially the very end of this semester. I'm not sure what kind of response rate we would have to send something out your finals time. So I'll keep all of you guys in the loop in terms of what that would look like and how we'll continue to get student feedback on that. But if your councils do have thoughts, I know this conversation is beat to death probably, but if you do continue to have thoughts on this, please bring them my way, Michael's way, and we'll be sure that everyone's represented and their thoughts are taken into consideration. Also give ideas of different ways that you can reach out to students to get their feedback on how they utilize career services, which services they're aware of or not aware of in their individual colleges or across the university, things like Access UT, then let me know as well, and we'll start working on some kind of instrument to gauge that feedback. The Honor Code Task Force has a meeting this Friday. We didn't meet over spring break, so we left the conversation kind of discussing some of the solutions and thoughts that we all generated regarding the direction that this could go in those 3 different categories that we talked about in the President's meeting, and then I mentioned in General Assembly last week or week before spring break. Basically, in the next meeting, we'll be discussing student involvement in the student judicial services process, and we'll have a few presentations from legal affairs regarding what will that look like in terms of if we'll be able to even move forward with a system like that, what we need is the new region rules provide, and so on and so forth. So I'll keep you updated on those presentations, how they go, what we discover. We're really hoping to make this a very inclusive process for everyone on campus. So if you have ideas of stakeholders that we need to consult, I know we are reaching out to BHP's judicial board, college level judicial boards that exist. If you know one in your college, please let me know. Please make sure that they're a part of this conversation. Because I do think it's important that we look at university judicial boards versus college level, and then we kind of get into that conversation while we have the opportunity to explore it. So if you have thoughts on that in particular, let me know as well. The VP essay search, as Natalie said, the candidates will be coming to campus very soon. I believe starting the week of April 1st. I'll send out the specific dates to all of y'all, and you'll receive an official invitation from the President's Office and DOS. I absolutely need your help in getting students to those forums. It is extremely important that we ask these candidates every single question that you want to know as a student, that anyone in your college wants to know. And we'll be reaching out to tons of other organizations as well RAs and stage classes in their portfolio organizations. So just everyone around campus, their organizations. But do let me know if you can sort of who you think we should be reaching out to if you have any additional thoughts on that. But do expect email soon, and please, please, please attend it. This is a very important decision that the institution will be making, and they're definitely going to be looking at the student review forms that you'll fill out, as well as all the feedback that you get in those sessions very carefully. I know that's one of the first questions that the president and provost ask when making decisions like this, so it's incredibly important that you mobilize students and get them there as fast as you can. So we'll be working very, very hard on that as well. Very quickly, last thing, the campus-wide tuition survey was sent out, so fill that out. If it's in your inbox, encourage all of your friends to fill it out. Thanks for the shout out via Facebook, Michael Zaney. Everyone change your Facebook status for people to fill it out, because right now we're looking at a 4% response rate, which is pathetic. So encourage everyone that you can to do that as well. That's all that I have. I know Francisco has an hour.
Based on past, it will be Senate's next communication director, which we'll find out later in the evening. But what it is make the job easier for a communications director for Senate, because it's very difficult, especially with next year legislative session, to also handle that task as well as internal Senate and external Senate communications. I know I was overburdened as comm director for both, and we don't really know what's important in the city from communication. And if we want to improve the communication with the legislature and other organizations in terms of how things, we have to have a better structure, we have to have more people involved to help out. So all in one individual is a lot of work, and I don't want to overburden anybody else or staff or our district.
And what I will say is, if you look at the Constitution, the committees that we have in the state, they're very flexible, very clean. So if you like this, you don't have to say, well, this is excellent. You just say, you know, whatever.
Sorry, the C5 in the Constitution, what parents are you saying you want a separate communications director, or it's just communications committee? I'm confused by that.
Yeah, no, we're saying what it's traditionally been, and I just like to clarify it, is the committee has normally just consisted of Michael or whoever communications director was, so it was just one person. And when we wrote this in C5, we kind of had the intention that we could maybe want more people, but we weren't sure yet, you know, obviously until we talked to Michael, who's done the job before. So we think we just like to make it more clear if we do decide to do this, because it's something that Solomon has expressed to me as well, that they had to be on board with doing. So it is definitely changed the job title. It's just making it more clear that it would be a standing committee. Because as you see, we have committees that stand and then ones that can be appointed on an as-needed basis. But we like to keep these. So I guess just making that more clear.
I guess just because Steve's are there to be the following standing committees. Like, I totally agree. I'm willing to propose an amendment, but I need some help with wording.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just confused with what more you're doing.
It's fine. Yeah, I know it's something that y'all have to do. Yeah. Any other discussion? Any other thoughts? Alright, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Alright, all those in favor of tabling SB11? Oh, I'm sorry, you have to expressly state a date. Okay, perfect. Table, yeah, excellent. Okay, deal. And there's a second. All those in favor of tabling SB11-5, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All those abstain. Alright, SB11-5 will be tabled until the April 5th general assembly. All right, with the authors of SR 1114.
There's actually been a lot of data gathered about how minors can potentially affect graduation rates, and it's pretty drastic in the negative. And so we already have a pretty prolific problem with graduation rates in CNS, and so even if it's passed, I would say it's very right, they're just
Okay, well, I just want to know the rules of the game. So we don't know how it would affect students outside of college natural sciences by adding a minor in the college natural science. I don't see how that affects.
sure. Yeah, let me respond. The way it affects is competition for classes. Right now, we're on sort of access to the capacity for classroom space, so natural sciences are allowing more students to have consequently, not just for CNS students, but over graduation rates. It's not across the country, it's just only for
I understand that, I mean, that is a valid concern, but at the same time, I think the same challenges are present in other colleges that people are assuming are also in every college, and there are lots of very large classes in the class district. So I think that's sort of a structural broad issue that affects teaching to everyone. That's not necessarily unique to natural sciences. I'm not sure they should make a decision on minors based on something like that. Maybe understand that
I think liberal arts is already built in, so we really do expect the you don't have to do that. Because all liberal arts, you're already in line with the central science. I mean, this really is liberal arts students that are y'all up in line.
Yeah, like for engineering, like we have students that kind of focus minor in chemistry, but I mean, I don't know if it's like a full line.
So minors, every college has its own specific set of requirements for earning a minor in a separate college. So some students in one college might be able to minor in college natural sciences, others might not. The hour requirement for earning a minor in college natural sciences may vary from college to college. It does. So what this is supposed to fix is it's supposed to allow it to be standardized across the university. So even though it's not necessarily a problem for students in liberal arts, it should be a problem for anyone in the university, is our understanding of this. Okay.
Yeah, like that's what we're just confused on what you're supposed to do.
So we could add language to make that clearer. This is supposed to be across the university, not just students in the college of natural sciences, because that would be a college.
part of the science sciences is that if you're at the University of Texas, you're interested in the sciences, and you want to minor in sciences regardless of your grade.
Plus,
You can make a distinction that are minors only within your college, and if you pursue anything outside of your specific college, it's a degree not a minor. That was the line that we made for this last one.
Well, we're trying to say that you would be able to get a minor without registering as a degree student in the college of natural sciences. So now, if you were to add a biology class, you have to become a degree student, and we're saying that's not the case. That you'd be able to become a minor in the college of natural sciences without becoming a degree student.
I mean, I think that really for large students, you can get a line in natural sciences because natural science is a so I mean, you're only natural science classes isn't a problem for at least our students. I don't think it's a problem. Anyone else's.
Yeah.
because it counts for RDP, it won't count as a minor. So when you start standardizing, say everybody take these courses, it will count for minor, it might not work for everyone. Because for us, it might not count. And that's why every college has their own way of doing it.
So, first thing I know in our council, we've been just a great week. We discussed and voted in one day last night. We haven't had these conversations with the rep meetings, and it seems to me like there's a lot of reach around. So, based on that, I'd like to motion to table.
Second, all those in favor of tabling, oh, I'm sorry, tonight, Cheryl, please. Okay, election has to wait. All those in favor of tabling, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All those abstaining? All right, this is tabled.
We'll be going over into our 11 which just to go over briefly with you guys, is talk about how colleges should be having a designated academic advisor to serve as one person for incoming transfer students. And we haven't changed anything in legislation, so go ahead.
I'm just curious if you guys discussed with meetings with colleges that are going this task.
We haven't discussed, that much, that'll be after passes and implementation of that.
Or just like a prospect of it.
Yeah, we definitely want to meet with these, want to see like how that would be built. I know we talked specifically about over the summer orientation, kind of how that would play out, so that is like an influx of registration on the spot. So we talked a little bit about that, but we haven't addressed it much specifically yet. But that will be, if it is passed, that will be a presentation.
Advisors that are more interested you're wondering that are like more areas of knowledge. You're wondering if there is like a distinction between what you guys can do and
I think kind of how we foresee it is it would be someone that would still be knowledgeable in your college. So I think that like they would be trying to university-wide level as far as like the skills you need for transfer advising, but they would still have like the concept of what's required for the college. So I think that kind of where I see is a possible problem with having it like as an admissions level and that level is that because there's a requirement for like you to have fourth semester proficiency in a language for liberal arts, but not in science or whatever the case may be. There might be a discrepancy of yes, there's a difference between what transfers, but there's also a difference in what the college accepts. So we were foreseeing it as being at college level that they would have to manage.
Yeah, I think it'll be just largely concentrated as far as the big colleges go, I think they can easily do it. Because all that would require, say, okay, you're now trying to transfer students. Here's the city, and go to these cities, go to these cities. The smaller colleges might only have one advisor, it might be a little more difficult, but then again, they should already be pretty knowledgeable.
Kind of just like a framework for like how we envision like what we see as like the purpose of the legislation is that all advisors in every single college should have this knowledge. Like you should be able to go to any advisor under any circumstance and be like, oh, I'm a transfer student, I need this credit. They should be able to tell you. But we've seen that there's been some discrepancies that have arisen, especially with UGS in some cases. I know I'm a dual student, like I have discrepancies between those and I'm not even a transfer student. So I think that we want to ensure that there's someone these advisors can contact in the case of like even future years addressing questions that might arise.
Yeah, so especially the way you articulated, I definitely think this is a great piece of legislation for that reason, but I would just caution from the feedback we got from council and I thought our advisory director about it today, and I think that to the point about maybe being easier and bigger colleges in our college, for example, with budget cuts, the place where
first one to say is one is that this is going to be left up to the college's discretion, so you guys are definitely not sending out release of their initiative, like, as long as the designation doesn't who's in charge of transfer students per se.
Yeah, I mean, we want it to be uniform training, so that each person, so there isn't like, I think that we don't want to have any leniency as far as like, someone in each college will be selected, someone in each college will be trained uniformly, that will be set in stone, but the actual implementation of like, if you call the registration bar, like, we're not going to go to like, pharmacy, like, if you do not have this, you're not registered, like, we don't, like, we're not going to implement like that, that'll be up to the college to see.
First, I think it's recommended. Secondly, second one, it says all the schools will be you'll start off it definitely helps out because it's that that's what we're doing, and that's actually
How much exactly do you estimate that training to provide like the not one training session or more
I mean, honestly, we can't give you an exact number, but we don't foresee it as being an additional cost because there are CAA, the provost committee, advisors, like there are processes that are already in place for like advisors to come together as a whole in this aspect. So it would be just like an additional breakout session or something of that sort. We don't foresee it as having to like summon all the advisors together to do this. It would be like tacking on to what the programs are there. So we don't foresee it as being an additional cost. It would just be a breakout. I mean, it would be information regarding the, like, what credit for and all those different questions. So, I mean, I'm not saying it would be like 5 minutes, like, here's a sheet of paper, this is all you need to know. Like, it would be like an intensive session, but it wouldn't have to be like a full weekend getaway kind of thing to learn about how to be transfer advice. It would be, you'd be getting well versed in the uniform education, and it would be a mediation.
Question is, have you gotten any response from any of the advisors from specific colleges in terms of this? Because I feel like, so some of them, they might not want that letter to happen. Or they feel like they've already done their job to the best of their abilities for the next students. All of us have worked as a whole. So have you gotten any response?
We have not gotten any negative response. We have very limited amount of people we have contacted with so far. I mean, as I mentioned later on in the presentation, we'll see exactly the response we get. We haven't gotten any negative response. I think that like the advisors are like have the goal to help students, and so I think that like coming to them and being like, we've seen some problems that have arisen with transfer students like credit, but they're not going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to help these students. Like I think that they're going to want to be well informed and educated. That's just the kind of.
I was just wondering if this is what they feel is best for us.
I mean, this is, as Senate, like, we are coming up with, like, what we think this would be the best for students, and so I think that, like, I mean, I go to my advisor even when I don't have a registration, but, like, I like that personal contact with someone, so this is what we saw as a committee as being what the students think to fix this.
Well, first of all, as an orientation advisor, I just wanted to thank you all for thinking about transfer students because while we go through the orientation, we see that transfer students don't get the attention that they deserve and don't get the help that they do deserve. And many of them are not engaged in this university because they just don't get the same help that freshmen get. But second of all, why can't this just be a training for all the advisors in certain college that they could go to instead of adding an extra position? I mean, you're trying to create a job, and I appreciate that. But I feel at the end, is that what you are you adding an extra position? Or
No, it's not an extra position. It would just be someone who's already designated as an advisor, would just serve as like the point person. So if, I mean, every advisor should be versed in transfer student and the needs of transfer students. But since there is some discrepancy that we've seen, this would just be having someone designated as a point person that would be like, know all of everything for transfer students. So if you had any questions that were risen with like later down, like second or third year, for transfer students to address those questions.
I just feel it would be even better if all of them could do it.
I completely agree. This is a first step, and then from then on, hopefully, I mean, I want to go to my advisor and I want them to know everything, but you can't really expect that.
All those in favor, as there are less than 15, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstaining? All right, SR 1115 passes. Now I'm going to move on to new business of the meeting August SB 1106.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to go into the background of the legislation and why we are proposing this, and then Andrew is going to talk about how it will relate to committee chairs, and then Josh will talk about how the position will interact with his role and how it will in the legislation implementation process. So one of the things that our administration is committed to in the next year is making sure that our follow-up efforts get stronger than ever, and that we're communicating with councils about what we're doing. And one of the ways to do that is to add another position that is strictly devoted to following up on legislation, not only legislation that we passed during our administration, but from years before. So what we are proposing is adding an amendment to the Constitution that allows for discretionary leadership team positions. What these are their positions that the President, Vice President, and Financial Director can appoint with the approval of the General Assembly, similar to executive board positions now, except the positions will not be executive board members. They'll sit on leadership team and they'll sit in committee chair meetings, but they will not be on the executive board. These positions also do not have to be standing positions to be renewed every single year. They're simply at the President's discretion and whether or not the General Assembly agrees to the appointee. So what this bill is doing is it is one, creating those discretionary leadership team positions to allow them to exist, and it's also creating the role of the legislation implementation coordinator, which will specifically deal with follow-up on policy, coordinating meetings, and coordinating the right offices that we should go to, coordinating timelines in terms of when we would like to see progress on legislation, and also communicating, working with the policy director and working with the vice president and committee chairs on that process. So that's the background of it. I'm going to turn it over to Josh to talk about how it interacts with the policy.
As you all know, legislation is really important to its formation. Being able to support percentage to ensure that the policies that we do pass as into law are appropriate well as applicable. And we've noticed in the last couple of years that the level of implementation is just too much for one person, policy director, to do by themselves. And so we're creating this position which specifically this person will help coordinate legislation implementation efforts. This is keeping the chair of the legislative follow-up, create timelines, legislative follow-up, help committee chairs to schedule meetings with the university faculty, staff, and as appropriate, adopt legislation so that we transition from administration to administration initiatives that were started in one term are not lost once committee chairs are in place and the administration. So this is really to ensure that Senate has continuity from year to year and to assist the policy
So Michael and Josh kind of said most everything, but in terms of how this can direct help committees, all those people all of our committee chairs know that they need to command large committee chairs. It's a pretty big step, and it's very, very tedious. The legislation process, though, is it's very structured. You know, the research, the writing of legislation, the presentation of legislation, all that is very straightforward, very structured, easy to pick up on. However, the actual implementation of these legislations where it kind of fuzzy, turns into more of a gray area. Having an individual whose role is one and only role is to oversee the implementation of legislation and helping committee chairs to schedule those meetings, facilitate that, and be the person who they go to right away so they know the steps they need to take to make sure that their legislation as soon as possible. It really alleviates the policy director's work. It helps the committee chairs. We all talk this now. Any questions?
Right.
Judge, what I did that.
We did do the
What there, it's just like the executive board member is now it's appointed by the president, vice president, and financial director, and then it will be approved by the board, which is different from just how the committee chairs, which is just appointed vice president, and financial director, it does not have to be approved by the board. But so it's the same process as the executive with the non-executive.
So just to clarify, this bill creates it allows for discretionary leadership opportunities, but it only creates one leadership bill, which is the legislation. So if you push another position to be added, that position would have to be added to the constitution, and it needs to go through that position.
Yeah. So sadly, I don't have the set of Constitution memorized. But is there not already something that allows for how maybe it's permanent regulation to do that executive session?
You can do an ad hoc position, you want to make this more permanent. And I didn't want, in all honesty, I didn't want to overstep our administration's bounds and add another position without going through the assembly.
So this is going to be a yearly.
It's a year.
Discretionary position.
Yes.
They choose to have not.
Yes. So we have, as I mentioned today, we decided on our executive board and our leadership team and all of our committee chairs. All of these executive board appointments do have to be approved by the General Assembly. You have them in front of you. I will call their names, so if you guys can stand up, that would be great. For policy director, it will be Josh Russell. Executive director will be Ryan Hirsch. He's already standing. The communications director will be Chris Gwynn. Administrative director will be Paul. We're going to call my first name. Leadership director will be Mark Jones. And if you're curious about the rest of the leadership team, all the names here online. But we do have to have a 2/3 majority approval to have these positions filled because they will take office if approved on April 6th.
Questions for Michael or Nikki? Potentially.
Motion to fast track.
All right, all those in favor of fast tracking? All those opposed? All right, we will fast track SB 1107. We'll now open the floor to discussion and debate. All right, so we're going to end discussion and debate. Is there a second? All those in favor of ending discussion and debate, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All those abstaining? Questions on the approval of SB 1107? Are you ready for this question? All right, all those in favor of approving SB 1107, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All those abstaining? All right, congratulations. Jennifer, I just forget you. Sorry.
like a movie or something. It looks great. It looks just like the degree planning forms that you see in college. So hopefully it'll alleviate some of the stress that comes with working line by line for Rule 508 and saying everything. So that is going to be available to your colleges at the end of this month, and then it will all be officially implemented and ready for you to use in June. And if you would like to see what I've seen, you can go, I think Kendra, one of these people up here, will be sending you a link to some email addresses. We have a student in the information school who's helping us do a usability survey for the new system. And you can go in, you can look, you can see what you like, tell them what you don't like, because they'll take that into consideration. And you will also get $2 Starbucks gift cards, Starbucks Target, but I think there might be Starbucks inside all of it. But anyways, there's a gift card for that. And so some things that Dan and I were talking about this morning were the possibility of drag and drops instead of petitioning. So you can say, oh, I'd like this to go here instead of filling out a form and giving it to your library and all that stuff. And then some Amazon style, if you like this solution, I'd also like this solution. Suggest to students that if you have some goals in your degree model, here's something that would fit and meets with your interests and needs, all those different things. So lots of interesting stuff on the horizon. You should definitely check out this feasibility survey to see if I know you have any thoughts about it. And on to DemTech. Dean Woodruff and I talked about the program on Tuesday, and he's a big fan. So the decision we made in the coming months about making DemTech an official part of the School of Undergraduate Studies. So be on the lookout for that. It may or may not be a problem. But and applications for leadership positions in DemTech are due next Monday, March 26th. So if you're thinking you want to publicize things, you like curriculum, anything like that, check out demtex.org and find out more about that. And just as my parting note, just think of DemTech as kind of a testament to what the Senate is able to do here. It started, I think it was in like 2009 with legislation, leveling and removing SSB, and it's kind of grown up over the years into this program that's now kind of on its way to becoming an official part of the university. So it really shows what all of you and all of us together can do to really change the university.
Hi guys, my name is Anna Maria. I'm actually the president of Edwin. I know you guys have talked to Jennifer. She's our current VP of Information Management. But for those who don't know what ICE really does, is that we're actually a platform that allows people to intern abroad in countries, 110. And for students who like learn leadership skills and work with local businesses to bring people from abroad to first year. So updates what we just did. We had a regional conference 3 weeks ago with 5 or 6 universities and some of the top leaders come across in education, business and leadership skills. And we're currently going to have the national president's meeting 2 weeks from now. So if you're interested in actually interning abroad, then we can tell you a little bit more about that.
So we accept applications for going abroad all year round, and the next info sessions, you can back to your counselor if you're interested in going abroad yourself for the summer or anytime next year. The info sessions are going to be next Monday, the 26th at 6 p.m. in UTC 3.112. And there's also one on Tuesday, the 27th at 6 p.m. in JG
So we are asking you guys for as much help as possible. We would really like to have each diversity out. It's going to be on Speedway. We're not sure about that yet. But we really want to have a table representing each college and a couple, 3 to 5 published members of your council there from different majors, and allow students to go through our little setup and talk to you guys about exactly what it's like, what your courses are like, especially if they're still unsure. We're really going to be targeting this to students who are unsure about exactly what major involves and what the courses are like. We can't really get that from our advisors. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that email. I'll probably send it through Carissa. But it's happening, and if you're interested, please let me know. Every college
Second thing we're doing, some additional new member project is a mentorship program. It's kind of in the preliminary stages where we're looking to mentor both first-year students and those students who are transferring to UT so that they can kind of get acclimated to the atmosphere of what's going on strategically. The third and final thing we're looking at doing right now is holding a mock debate on April 11th, which will be Wednesday, 3 weeks from now, roughly. So we've kind of worked out the last couple of weeks deciding which topics we're going to do, who we're going to have out there, who we're going to have as panelists. So what we'd like to do is see you guys need to be like an opportunity to kind of join in on the debate. There's members of your council who would like to participate. The 3 topics we're looking at are first, space exploration should be substantially funded by the U.S. government. The second one, Spider-Man versus superhero, kind of more lighthearted. And the last one is a university issue, is that organizations on campus should be regulated to like a certain extent by UT. So to what extent should official student organizations on campus be regulated by UT? So if you guys would like to participate, please let everyone know. Thank you guys.
We invite everyone. Our next comes back with the research presentation is April 3rd at 5 o'clock in GTC. And it's a marketing professor presenting on how emotions influence our buying decisions, but we can't help it. And in my notes say the real title is A Tale of Two Chickens. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited for that. Pre-read that.
In 2 weeks, April 2nd through the 6th, is College Communication Week. Think of the acronyms for College Communication, and you can call it that week. I won't. We have a bevy of events coming up Monday through Thursday. The first is we're taking over our lobby. We have a wall of plasma screens, and we're showcasing student work from RTF, radio, television, film, journalism, and advertising. So it's going to be displayed all across the lobby. And that night, we are having Meet the Professor Night, which is more than a college student. So we're going to challenge the professors who are conducting intensive research. We have Brad Love, who's doing a cancer-rated community study. And we're basically challenging them to see if they know stuff about things like our requirements like physical science or history, just to see if they actually know anything about what college students are doing. Tuesday, we have the College Communication Career Fair, which Matt Burke talked about earlier. Definitely come if you want a job or you want an internship, if you might be paid. And that night we have our college lectureship series featuring
Bridget Dunlap, who that name probably doesn't sound familiar, but she owns a very popular string of bars known as Rainy Street. So she's going to come talk about entrepreneurship in Austin, and who doesn't like mixing education with alcohol? Because it's awesome. Wednesday, we have Abigail with the advisors just in time for registration, so we're going to have all the advisors out there to talk to students and just kind of shoot the crap with the students. And Thursday, we have Donuts with the Deans, which is our big event that we hold with the Deans every year. And then that night, we have reserved the plaza, and we're going to have a 18-foot movie screen, and we're going to be showcasing student work as well as debuting a film that I believe is currently in theaters. We're still working on the licensing problems with that, so but we're also sponsored by Macy's, so thank you to Macy's. I have to say that plug. 2 weeks, bam.
Social Work Council is hosting Empowerment Week, April 3rd and 4th on Gregory Plaza. We're focusing on alcohol, personal, and sexual safety. So we're going to be giving away 3 t-shirts, pepper spray, and condoms. So it's from 10 to 2, April 3rd and 4th.
Hello everyone, I'm from National Professional Accounting Council, and I just want to update you all about an event that we'll be having on April 11th, regrettably the same time as the debate that Florence Council is having. But we've got a conversation with Paul Foster. He's one of the University of Texas regents, and also involved with the University of Texas Investment Management Company. He's the founder of a huge El Paso mining company, and it should be really interesting, kind of political for everyone who's not interested in accounting, and sort of entrepreneurial for those of you who are interested in that. It should be really, really interesting. I hope to see you later in this building, in the SAC ballroom, which is somewhere around here, and right next door. Thank you. 6 to 7 p.m. so just 1 hour of your time. Really fascinating. Thanks.
All right, we're going to move on to the committee reports. Brian and Danny has some undergraduate research.
We don't ever want to miss out on the opportunities. You see what it's like. Okay, so first thing, we have undergraduate research grant coming up due this Friday. Which is tomorrow. That's $1,000 for students to conduct undergraduate research of their choice. It's very exciting, and we expect a lot of applications tomorrow. And our committee will be reviewing the grant next week and announce the winner soon.
And then second point on here, the research reception is next Wednesday, 5 to 7 p.m. in the SAC Ballroom. If you haven't RSVP'd, please do. Or if someone on your council would be interested in attending, it's free hors d'oeuvres, refreshments, and an award ceremony. So it should be pretty exciting. And I just wanted to give a shout out to LAC really fast. It's so cool. Y'all are doing an event for Research Week for your new member project. We're very, very excited about that.
We're losing research.
And also, Dr. Love, Dr. Love is on our master evaluation board for the grant, so he's awesome. All right, last
And last thing, Research Student Advisory Council, RSAC, that's our acronym, is meeting next Friday, March 30th. We have a little pull-out trying to find the most flexible time. Before, we've just been meeting with Office of Undergraduate Research on our own with RSAC members, but we want more RSACers. So if that's possible. We always welcome questions, concerns, and comments.
All Senate reps, at least on the undergraduate council, should be members of the Facebook group, and so we'll be posting there tomorrow and sending out information over the lister. If you are unable to attend, please send a council member who's interested next Friday, and then of course we'll be announcing that time and location. Thank you guys.
Wonderful evening.
All right, are there any other committee updates?
Sunday, March 25th, 5 p.m. Get back to Gap House. Be there. We'll be there every Sunday, 5 p.m. to see all the So.
I'm here to give an update on this committee I set up, Independent Increase Flag Committee. We met twice, or they met, they emailed me afterwards. But I became myself in the loop with Office of Undergraduate Research, what they're doing, and we jointly approved like 8 proposals this year. But I want to give you a brief overview of what the committee does. This is a criteria for all the proposals coming toward the committee in order for them to get stamped as an independent increase flag. And what that does is we have a total of 6 flags, and I listed the other ones on there. And the whole idea behind flags is to provide students with a comprehensive set of skills and tools for college education. A lot of Ivy League schools, what they have is Osher embedded within their core curriculum. But for UT, just for our size and scale, it's not very feasible for us to really mandate that within our core curriculum. So what we have is a flag system, and all the colleges, all majors, try to encourage their students to partake in more flags to kind of like get that diverse breadth of education within their degree. So this is the requirement. And what I learned from my involvement this year is we have, these are some of the example courses I pulled up that do have independent increase flag. And I assembled a sample on purpose. As you can see, there are more communication schools and natural sciences on there. Comes to surprise me. They have a lot of independent increase flags within that school. That just means their administration has been really on top of getting their courses flagged. Some of the other schools you can see are liberal arts and business, but this is myself, kind of like, after I looked through a lot of proposals, this is what I come up with. The most flags appear, seems to appear in comm school, natural sciences, and architecture. Liberal arts and engineering are kind of like at that mid-level where we have flags, but I don't think it's enough. And then for business, fine arts, social work, pharmacy, it's very few to non-existent. I actually found a finance independent increase flag that was really surprising to me. But that kind of like explains the robustness of undergraduate research on campus. And as you can see, we have a lot of room for improvement. And that's why I've been really involved with on this topic with Dr. Berman, talking to her, trying to hopefully get them to open up these criteria, because right now it's very restricted. The way they define what constitutes as an independent research project excludes a lot of courses from getting this flag. So an incident I recall from last summer was a natural sciences tried to apply for an independent increase flag for FRI, which is research. And for the most part, you build up to that independent research level. But Independent Increase Committee rejected that proposal because it doesn't fit their definition. So it's very rigid as it stands right now. I've been trying to work with them to open that up a little bit more so we have more courses designated as independent increase flags so we can encourage more research opportunities on campus. So that's my update this evening. If you have any questions, contact me, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to answer your questions. Thank you.
But there is good news. You have this General Assembly, okay? And also up until March 31st, when I, along with, I think it's a total of 150 people, will be shaving our heads for pediatric cancer research. It's going to be out in front of the tower. Y'all should all come and watch me. It's going to be fun, amazing. Also, you can donate online, but I also remembered the great little envelope. If you have any money at all, even like 23 cents in change in your back pocket, please donate it. It'd be great for a great cause. Little update, my original goal was to raise $1,500, and as of Wednesday, I met that goal, and so I decided to take it a little step further and try and raise $2,000. Please, any donations will help. Thank you all so much.
Something less altruistic but a little bit more vain. If you'd like to have your photo taken for College Communication Week, we will be tabling next week, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 2 in Monticle Plaza, so it's like near Pete Keaton and Joe Grant, Pete Keaton and Paul LeVay, rather. And you can come get your photo taken saying, I heart college communication, it's going to say the full words. And you'll be featured on our college's homepage, as well as a takeover on our website.
So for all Hispanics and Latinos, there's a scholarship that's based here in Central Texas, so the competition is very low. It's applied to all 2 Hispanics in the room, and so I found out about it like 2 years ago. Like 2 weeks before the application was due, and before I knew it, in August I had $5,000 in my bank account, and the organization is really great. It was through, aside from being like an organization that provides scholarships for Hispanic students, they also provide you with mentorship services, and through them I was able to find an internship at Parliament in London, and so, I mean, it's a great organization. You guys should apply. Minimum requirements to be Hispanic, to be half Hispanic, 3.0 GPA, and the name of the organization is the Hispanic Scholarship Consortium. Hispanic Scholarship Consortium, and the website is hispanicscholar.org. And there's a big orange button there that says apply now. The application is due April 14th, and you will be notified, I think, mid-May, early June. And then there's like a mandatory conference. You don't really have to go in the beginning of July. I didn't go because I was stuck. So anyway, so let's do that.
One more quick one. Everyone have a smart and safe roundup weekend, please.
Is there a motion to adjourn on this? Is there a second? All those in favor of adjourning?